Cast out that same demon. That same canker worm that's on your money, we can cast out the same demon that's holding on to you, that homosexual spirit. Don't limit the power of God that is on the inside of you. To what He can and cannot do. Come on, let's give God a hand.
Come on, stand to your feet and give God a hand clap of praise. Come on, stand to your feet, give God a hand clap of praise. Listen, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to stretch your hand this way. Because I want y'all to know something that's very serious. It is one of the most complicated things in ministry to have to stand and deliver a word that oftentimes you know the people of God really don't want to hear. Matter of fact, it takes away from you so much so to a point where it allows your spiritual essence to be challenged in a physical nature. So, because He's poured out, I want to pray that God restores back. Preacher, let me tell you something. Because you have a dislike for the Spirit, expect the Spirit to approach you more. And I'm telling you, because you and I can coexist, because I just can't stand it. That's the easy way to put it. I just can't stand it. And watch this. Because that same spirit had the propensity to jump on my sister. And a few weeks ago, my sister called me down to the house and she said, enough is enough. But I honestly know that it's easier said than done. Can come in here right now and dance and probably saturate the atmosphere with God's presence to a point where we all fall out in worship. But because of the attachment of the Spirit, it has developed so many underneath currents that it has built a demonic oppression. And through that, it has pushed her away from the things she was built on. That's what the spirit of homosexuality, it does. That's what incubus and succubus has established. It is to come in your sleep and to push you away from the thing that God has aligned you with. It's something that the preacher said last night that was major. I don't know if you know what he said. He said that if we stay on track, to stay on track, we have a destination. But if we get off track, then we fall into destruction. The easiest thing to do is to attach yourself to a spirit that leads you straight to destruction. So it is in the natural, so it is in the spiritual. If that he's going to speak spiritually in this natural setting, then God's going to battle him. Not to say that he's going to turn around and leave his wife and go to be homosexual. That's foolishness. But it's going to say now that God's going to align him on track to put some people in his atmosphere, in his climate. And he's going to have to look at it and say, if you're going to be around me, you're going to straighten up and fly right. You're going to take that men out your wrist. You're going to stand and you're going to point like a man. You ain't going to wear no dress, no skirt, or no high heel shoes. You ain't going to go to big big O's and all of these
Big O's.
you gonna live up to the standard of who God created you to be. Y'all can tell I don't like it. So pray for him that as he challenged this demon, because that's what it is. It's a homosexual demon. And it's so powerful that I love it, because you went right to where it is. He said that this is a Noah generation. If you read the Bible, everything homosexual happened prior to Noah. And Noah speaks to them and tells them the word. And in telling them the word, the people rebelled against him. And God said, you know what? Because of your action towards the man, the messenger, notice, because of your action towards my word through the messenger. Take a sidebar. If you treat your pastor any kind of way, God will smite you. I want you to be real. Don't matter how if you like your pastor or not, you better keep your mouth off of him.
Talk about it.
And watch this, so much so that if you don't push the vision of the man of God, then he smites you again.
That's right.
To be anti the vision of God is to be anti-God. That's what he was telling you in so many words. He kills off a whole generation of people because of this same demon. And he has to restart a generation. And then through the restart of the generation, he places him strategically. Watch this. He places himself strategically in the same generation that's needed to produce harvest for the rest of the world. He places himself right within Judah, which is the same lineage of David. And only to align himself to accomplish the thing that goes against everything that you want to accomplish. So he kills himself to produce you to be the best you can be. Because he knows that you're going to mess up. And he's going to have to replace himself with your sin in Calvary. So that way, when you go before him, he don't look at your sin. He looks at himself in you. Come tomorrow night. I promise it's going to bless you. And so God has assigned us a great work. Because watch this. This conference was not so much for youth as much as it was for youth leaders.
That's it.
Because it's now time that we develop leaders that move beyond the four-wall facilities and vicinities of our life and go out and develop other leaders to accomplish that which God has assigned on their life. I ain't looking for great numbers to be here, but I'm looking for people who said, you know what, enough is enough. And too much is starting to stink. I'm ready to get what God has for me. If there's about 3 of you in here who can co-sign with the preacher, like he co-signed with Alexis, say enough is enough. I'm ready to see them. I'm ready to see the manifestations of God. Do what he said he's going to do in the hour that I live in. Not next year, not 6 months from now. Because if you ain't careful, you're going to have your kids battling demons that some of their spirits is not competent or powerful enough to deal with.
We should have been there.
And we should have been there with.
Amen.
Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, deal with that spirit. You got some homeboys who undercover, pull them in secret. Get yourself together. And if you can't get yourself together, you can't hang with them. How can 2
Walk together.
And I ain't agreeing with that nasty, dirty, filthy spirit that you got. And that ain't just in homosexuality either. That's some of them lying folk that you got hanging on beside you, and club going folk that you got hanging beside you, that you know ain't good. Watch this. If they can drink with you at your secret party, then they can praise with you in church. I'm being real with you. And that's what God mandates. He mandates us to be real with ourselves. If you can't be real with yourself, you can't be real with nobody else. Look at your neighbor one last time. Say, neighbor. Say, oh, neighbor. I came this week be a conduit of change. And that's what I'm going to do. I came this week to be a conduit of change. And we're going to change. We're going to change a generation one by one. Word said 1 can slay 1,000, 2 can slay 10,000. You do the mathematics, you'll know the next level of that is more than you some of y'all bank account got in it right now. Amen. Amen. Yeah, so let's get the word. Let's get the word. Listen real quickly. I told them church is the only place that we can put a time limit on God. An hour and 20 minutes. Gotta go. Hour and 20 minutes, gotta go. But we can stay in the club for 4 hours in this bunk. Lose track of time. Dance with the same girl. She busted, but you still. She was caught, but you still. You learn. Yeah. But somebody beside you in church, miss one arm up the order. And you ready to go. You turn